Hi guys, I hope you're well. I've just been practicing uh, over the last couple of days for a Nurgle let's play I was going to do. Mainly to show beginners how to play him and to demonstrate that he's not really weak. Well, Kugas kind of weak, but Nurgle are really strong. And I just thought I'd do a very quick video covering some of the mid to late game techniques that you could use if you want to get the benefit out of Nurgle. And I'm going to try and do this really quickly because I have ADHD and I talk for too long. So if I'm looking over there, it's just because I'm timing myself. So basically, the two main issues I hear people, and I'm talking about people on Reddit who are obviously mostly beginners or just lunatics. The issues they normally have is one, that they don't know how to kill Ghost or they can't kill Ghost, and two, that they never have any money. So I'm going to try and address these and just the overall tactic. I'm on 113 now. Because I'm doing the objectives, I've just done the short one, and for the long one, I have to go. I've got Kugas there, all the way down here, and kill off Kairos, which is kind of cool. I kind of want to have all that area for myself. So, yeah, I tend to play longer campaigns. But anyway, the first 20 or so turns of a Nurgle campaign are done in like 5 minutes because you just doing the plague dance and pressing enter effectively. So if you don't know what the plague dance is, it's basically right at the beginning you hire another lord and you pass the plagues between the two lords, so that you can unlock these, because these are the only things that matter. There's one other one which matters as well, but I'll come back to that in a second. So in terms of killing Ghost, very straightforward. You have exalted heroes, which I don't happen to have here. Two, ideally, one on a chariot, one on horse, or three, and you can have them all on horses. You don't really need the chariot, but that's how I do it. He's super easy to kill. So Kurgath does a lot of damage now. I think they might have changed it to single entities. So he's actually quite good against large units. So for one thing, you can have Kugath lobbing Nurglings at him. But the AI in the current build, because they've been updating it a lot in the last few builds, Ghost will always hang back because he doesn't want to get missile fire. And even if there is no missile fire, he'll still hang at the back. So he'll move just close enough to support his guys, but he'll still be at the back, and everyone else will be running in. So you just send exalted heroes straight around the back, and they make very short work of him. If you've got one with bonus large, it's not slaughter restraints, it's the other one. That's even better. Then I've done it before without even having to fight him. He always buggers off up here to go and deal with greases or whatever. It's so easy to just use a scout, obviously, but force march straight through here, destroy this building or actually take it, and because it's got a resource in it, and then he just sort of dissipates. He just keep going for a little bit, but he's now not as strong once he's lost that. So yeah, that's how you get rid of Ghost. It will be in more detail on the Let's Play. Second thing, money. I'll do it in reverse order. Late game money. There's a very nice trick you can do. So a lot of these techs, all the or some of the great and clean ones, they have plus 4% chance. See, you see at the top there. This one's 5% chance, I think. Yeah. And so that might not seem like a lot, but it adds up. You then get your plagues, and you just chuck any one of these, doesn't really matter. You use this one, which is unlocked, I think, in the first part of the tree, and then this one. And you just dump that on anything you like. Dump it on a place where there's loads of corruption. So I normally put it here, and you'd be surprised how much money you get out of it. You get, like, I never actually bothered to work out exactly, but it's sort of in the order of 2 to 3k in the late game. So that's that. Now let's talk about money in general. So Kugath buffs the cheapest unit on the roster, and he makes them cheaper as well. So there shouldn't be any money problems there, because you're gonna just be using Nurglings and Kugath for a while, maybe a frog. Get rid of that stupid Death's Head drones thing that you see at the beginning. Use it for the first turn, then get rid of it. Absolute turd. This is okay. They now can pull out of fights a lot easier. They used to not be able to pull out of fights, but your heralds can't pull out of fights very well, so never send heralds down to do melee. But this thing fires Death's Heads, and it does absolutely nothing. Single target, multiple units, just does nothing. Complete waste of time. So get rid of it straight away. These are quite good early game, and a frog is always good to just help you with settlement battles, because you can just send around the back and take a few points. So yeah, really quickly, you have the cheapest units around, so that shouldn't be costing you a lot. But then also, well, to put it this way, you should be trying to get Greasus's trait if you can. It's harder on this patch. Every patch they don't release the notes on half of the most important things. All the balancing stuff they don't release it on. But you want cashing out, right? You don't care about trade tariffs, but 20% from all buildings in the local province, that's more than the Lord will cost you. So you can get loads of them and just stick the Lords here. And this province, because it is the best province for money in the game for Kugath and Kairos, you should be making loads of money. But first, you get down your growth buildings right at the beginning, and then after that, you start sticking some of these on, because you need your heroes early. But again, when you go back to Gorst, you've got 3 heroes of every type here, because you've got 2 of these buildings, which each add +1. So you can get 3 of each hero on your starting province, and you have the money to pay for them, because Nurglings cost nothing. So when it comes to where I think people get confused is Nurgle starts off as a defensive faction. As with all factions, whenever you go off and start attacking other areas outside of your main settlement, you say, let's say you're sacking these buildings, you don't want to be spending money building these up. You don't get the sack money and try and repair the building, build that up. You always send the money, well, there's probably a few cases where you don't, but you send the money back to your main province, because that is the safest. If you go and sack this province and then start putting money into this, there's a very high chance you're going to lose it when someone else comes along and sacks it. So that's rule number 1. Second thing I'd say is people say, how do I deal with Cathay? And I'm like, why are you even fighting Cathay? I don't think I've ever fought Cathay as Nurgle before. Don't take this settlement early game. People go charging out and they think, great, I'm going to get the settlement. All that does is make, if he's not already attacking you, Gorst, Greasus, Cathay, all these people come along and start fighting you. You don't want that. And it's not even your objective if you are following the objectives, but even if you're not, the objectives give you a clue as to where to go. You want this. You don't want any of this mess to begin with. Because you can jump across here with your guy super quickly. And in fact, well, we'll come on to that in a second on defense and why you make so much money. But for the duration, probably for the first 50 turns, I had nothing but green in here. I've only recently started building these up because there's so many ways for enemies to attack you in here, it's just no point. Green buildings give you garrisons, pretty decent ones, whereas the other ones now, they used to in Realm, but they don't give you any garrison. So this was full of greens as well, just because I wasn't comfortable enough that I'd be able to defend it. And I just thought it would just get wrecked. It did get attacked quite a few times, but the green armies managed to defeat full armies from the undead and stuff. So it's pretty tasty. Now when it comes to the later game, or I'd say mid-game, then you can start building, or when you're coming from the mid-game to the late game, then you can start building this up. You might build this up a little bit earlier. So then you should have all of this. You only build up this when your mates are all around here. And then you go on your sacking spree. So that's the thing about Nurgle. People think, oh, he's a defensive fighter, like a defensive player. That's how I'll play the whole game. Well, no. You actually have to switch into Scarbrand mode once you've got the first bit done. And that is built up your provinces here. So what I mean by that is you should have unlocked your plagues by... So if you do it with just 2 lords, it's around turn 20. If you do it with more lords, you can get it a little bit quicker. But how it works is a plague can only be passed 4 times. So you can pass a plague back and forth between 2 people 4 times. But then if you had a third person on, you can pass a plague to that guy, but that's it, only the once. So you get diminishing returns as it goes up, and you need your money early, basically. So yeah, that's that. So then the second thing to do is go on sacking runs. So all of this area, Snickitch earns all this and all this because I sacked this entire lot, and then I sacked my way through here, took 8 peaks, sold it again to Snickitch. Every one that I was sacking because of the plague, this plague here gives you 100%, used to be 250 in Realm. I was getting anywhere between 17k and 67k was the highest, I think, just for sacking a province. And then I was selling them on to Snickitch, who was paying me about 10 to 17k per settlement. So you can imagine how much I made during all that, during all that time. And I'm still going here. This guy's just... I have no idea why I'm going up here. I just thought it'd be cool to meet Festus. So that's that done. With this sacking army, you definitely want a human / demon prince, because they're basically the best unit the Nurgle roster has. It's a flying lunatic of death that jumps all about, so people can't shoot him properly. He's got damage per second from this, and he's got damage per second on the Plague Flail. Don't accidentally leave a mod on, which you've never used before, so I have no idea why it was on, which means when you combine your items, you get Kairos' items. This one's actually not too bad, but I wasted 2 blues and got his main weapon, so yeah, just don't do that. So here, this is just some crap dwarven settlement. If I were to sack it, it's not telling me there. I know it's about 10k anyway, because I was just playing this. I did this to save it on Legendary so that I could show you other things. There we go. 10k. It's not going to show me for that. But just around here, we've obviously got the big capital province. So, start off, take your main settlement, cover this one in green. You don't have to do it this way, but it's giving you an option as to how I do it. You do want this because it's got the landmarks, you know, they're giving you hints basically by doing that. Then go on a massive sacking spree to make sure you can build up these all fully built up, because if we go here, that was 20k to upgrade, and these are 2 greens, the 2 blues. That these ones are 5k, these ones are 10k, so they're quite expensive. We've got this one here. That's 10k just up there. That's not so bad. So you need a lot of money, and that's where going on the sacking runs helps you out. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to be able to defend your provinces. Now, with any other race, because this is where people say they have problems with the money, with any other race, would I be able to leave 4 dudes here to protect all of this? Probably not. It wouldn't be around very long. I have been keeping them there, but because he's got the Greaser's trait and everybody's got the Skepticon, which stacks on everyone, you can see that if we look here, I've got that. If I take them out, because I took one bloody plague one there. If you take the whole thing out, that's gone down by like 1800, which is quite a lot per turn, you know, just for these dudes stuck there. But you don't have to pay for some army to protect how many settlements? 1, 2, 3, 4 settlements. Don't need anybody. These guys are here. If anyone starts coming, which they are, village should be coming through there soon. I can tell because I've got plates everywhere and they give you vision. And that shouldn't be understated, by the way. It gives you vision. Like, I've got vision all around here. I can just bash out all of these. Now, depending on who's coming, depends on what unit I'd use. But you have got the Comptroller, which reduces the recruitment cost of the Plague Bearers. And you've got the Leper Lord, which reduces the upkeep for them as well. And you've got Skeptic, which is adding you funds. So this lot here is actually not costing me money, it's making me money. I normally always use Plague Bearers. I would normally have 3 or 4 Nurglings, 3 or 4 Spawn. This is mid-game. 4 or 5 normal Plague Bearers. And they've got like the ward save and stuff now, and they get double XP because of the tech tree. Yeah, and then basically the Nurglings with Vanguard deployment tangle up anyone who's got any archers if you are fighting Cathay for some reason. Then the Psycho Spawn are charging through next, and then the slow dudes are coming behind that, and if they're the exiled ones, they'll be chucking their stuff. And the speed of it works quite nicely, and it's a low cost army. However, playing this game, like, these used to be by far one of my favourite units, but these have been really derpy this game. So I've now switched to building up Chosen, which I've got in my sacking army. But I don't have many yet. But I've got 23 of these, and I've just deleted a load of units here to explain, to give this explanation. But there was like 3 soul grinders and a whole bunch of other stuff in there because I'm getting ready for the dudes coming up here. But anyway, I can pump out all of these units on a dime. Just pump out these 2. It doesn't take long for them to heal. If it's early game, you can use this thing, but I wouldn't because your units get trapped. You can just go on to that, which is not only going to give you your replenishment, but you want that on them anyway because it's going to level up your characters that are there. So I can just pump out these guys. What did that cost me? 14k, I guess, for pretty powerful army. I wouldn't have chosen it somewhere as randomly picking things, but then you want heroes in here, exalted heroes. I don't quite understand why I haven't got any in here. It's only just occurred to me. And you always will want at least, well, you definitely want Nurgle, and you will most likely want death. You can get away with not using death if on your heroes you pick this instead of that. And if you have 3 heroes in, you're going to get -3 armor for everyone in the enemies in the province. But you can just get that from casting what's it called? Soul Blight. Is it called Soul Blight? No. Soul Siphon, Soul something or other. Yeah, Soul Blight. So you can get that. That's going to give you -30. If you ever cast it, it's going to do it for 36 seconds. So yeah, I prefer to do that and have loads of these bloody heals. Like I've got, just in this army with 3 dudes, I've got 9 stench-ridden heals. Then I've got another one on one of the heralds, and then I've got this on him. Now, probably you should just put all the heralds with this, but I just like to play it safe. And he's already got this one, so yeah. So that's that. So yeah, really you want a hero there as well. Where were we? If ever you need to pump out a super quick scout, you shouldn't have to because everything should be showing. I think most of my plagues are running out now. I need to spend a few more. But basically, where you have plagues, you can see everywhere. So I need to pump some more in there. But if you need an urgent scout, you can just go summon a cultist. Just don't use anything in particular. And he's got sent in the wrong way. You always send through water because it gets you straight there, but I always just do what I did there and then wish I hadn't. So whilst your sacking crew is running around just wrecking things, and where's that army gone? Yeah, this is indestructible basically. Like I've not even come close. I had one battle for Karakay Peaks versus 2 stacks of doors as well, and it said I lost 32 people, but when I counted here, there wasn't even 30 people dead. So this just destroys everything. Because you've got these guys just popping off heals whenever you need them. You've got this guy with the Chaos War Shrine and the world's stupidest design of a spell, because he's on a War Shrine, he's got regeneration, and yet you need to get him down to 75 or 50% health for it to even start ticking. Like, I'm a big fan of CA, I normally praise them, but that is just the stupidest design I've ever seen. Especially with regeneration. and the war shrine. You know that the war shrine's going and regen. You're not going to get to use these too often. So I haven't used them. I think I've used one actually in the whole game. So that's it. So these guys are just going. They sacked all the way across here. Sold all the stuff to Snickitch. Sacked down here. Sold it to Snickitch. Dwarves took it back again. Not my problem. And then I'm gonna take him through to what's his face here because I thought it'd be quite cool. But doing the objectives is Cougar down here, and he's gonna take the whole of this. But he has been doing sacking runs as well. But I've got a giant army of death chasing me, and I'm not 100% sure I can take it out. I probably can. I've got loads of debuffs and stuff here, but I won't get too caught up in that. But I sack my way all the way along here as well. Most of the time I sack it and move on. Sometimes I take the building and then abandon it before I move on if I just need to heal up. So, you shouldn't have any money problems here. As long as you're playing it safe at the beginning, you're starting your sacking run, whatever mid-game is really. I mean, the first 20 turns will take like 5 minutes because of the plague dancing, so maybe turn 50, 60 or something. You start sacking, just going through here. Don't build anything except green in here until you're safe. These people are all my friends, so no one's going to come and attack that, so I'm now building up that and that. And then finally, you keep popping down your plague where you can get money from the spreader. These both come from tech, and whatever, doesn't really matter here. You can also, if you're running on plagues, you can switch out the favor and put in that. When you're doing your plague dancing as well at the beginning, you want this row as quickly as possible, and then start putting these on, because you'll have more, or you'll either have the same or more infections as when you started. So yeah, that's how you do it. Build these first before you build these, and you should be getting loads of money here. You've got these, you've got this thing. It's literally the richest province in the game for Kugav. So if there's probably something I missed out, I've been trying to rush it, but if there's, and I've done it in 28 minutes, but if there's any questions or anything, let me know. This isn't necessarily the best way how to do it, it's just how I do it, and I played a lot of Nurgle. So yeah, that's it. Ask me any questions if you need to.